What's up, guys? We're back with another beatbox reaction video, and today we have 4 more GBB23 wildcards, 3 tag team, 1 producer. So the wildcards we are going to react to in this video is going to be Pen, Hippy, X Hippie, and Mr. Esso. So Pen, Pono and Den, both champions of their countries. Needs no introduction, I'd hope, at this point. Yeah, looking forward to seeing what these guys do together. Never heard them in a tag team dynamic. Maybe once upon a time in a video passing years ago, but nothing recently. So I'm a big fan of Den in particular. Haven't heard much of Pono, but everything I've heard from him as of recently has been very, very high level. So expect something pretty good here, honestly. With these two guys involved, I expect my expectations are a little bit higher. So very curious to see what they came up with for a wildcard for the biggest competition and most prestigious competition in the entire scene. So after that, we have Hippy, Helium, Terrastanin, I believe is his tag team name, artist name rather. Helium, obviously a veteran of the Grand Beatbox Battle, veteran of the beatbox scene. Terrace, on the other hand, not very familiar with him. Maybe a champion of Russia, I have no idea. I haven't really been keeping up with him in particular. So the only time I've ever heard him outside of this has been for a circle jam that had like Zero and a bunch of other people in it. That was the first time I ever heard this guy. So this is the second time I've ever heard him. So more like a reintroduction of this guy. And he has Helium as his tag team partner, so that should be absolutely crazy. So don't really know what to expect from this one, honestly, because there is a wildcard in Terrace. So for me personally, the next wildcard, X Hippie, both is from Israel. Not surprised that these guys are doing a tag team together. They are very good friends in real life, so you know, not a big surprise there. And yeah, expect pretty big things from this one as well. Max has been an absolute monster in the solo scene. Hippy really made a name for himself in the BBU. Yeah, this one could honestly be a underdog wildcard, I think. Could fly under the radar, maybe, potentially, but could end up being one of the best. So I guess we'll have to find out and see how that turns out. And finally, we have Mr. Esso, a producer wildcard. I already watched his regular loop station wildcard in a live stream, one of my previous live streams. And yeah, not too familiar with him. Heard him a couple times. Really impressed with his elimination for the online world loop station championships last year. Yeah, he didn't make the top 8, came in like 9th or something. I would have placed him in my top 3 easily. I don't know why, but yeah, he's very good. Not well known, but if he keeps this kind of consistent kind of style, and yeah, if he just stays good, honestly, is what I'm trying to say. If he stays at this level, is what I was trying to say. He will eventually get there, I think. And yeah, not too sure how, like, the difference in skill he has with the solo and multiple devices. I guess we'll have to find out here. But, you know, I always say when it comes to multiple devices, it just unlocks another layer of creativity that you don't really have when it comes to using a solo device. So, anyway, that's a lot of me talking. Let's just get right into the wildcards.
This is Pen, and this is an Inertia remix, No South Africa.
Alright, so that was Den and Pono. Yeah, I don't really know how I feel about this one, honestly. I think for a couple reasons this could have been a lot better than it ended up being. The whole vibe that I got from it, honestly, was it kind of felt like something they just kind of threw together last second. You know, they were kind of, I don't know if they were like in front of like a 7-Eleven or something, but obviously the audio wasn't that great. Yeah, the environment could have been a little bit better to kind of push that wild card forward. It just kind of felt like the overall energy of it just kind of felt like it wasn't as serious as it should have been, I guess is a fair thing to say, or what I'm trying to say rather. You know, maybe the circumstances were that, you know, they got together maybe the last minute and decided to just throw their name in the hat. You know, there's no reason not to, but you know, it's a grand beatbox battle, and this is like the most prestigious one. You know, I think to really push yourself forward, you kind of would want to have a more professional environment, I think, honestly. And I think they know that, obviously. I don't really have to say that. I think they're well aware that they're very professional beatboxers. Obviously, no disrespect to these guys at all. They are the highest level beatboxers in the scene, you know. They're champions of their countries, but you know, it would have been nice if we had like a studio, possibly professional microphones, no noise in the background. Honestly, that was a big distraction for me personally. But putting all that aside, they do work pretty well as a tag team. I like what I heard in terms of the beatboxing. It's just like all these other factors around it just kind of makes it hard for me to really not criticize it, you know what I mean? But anyway, really big fan of these guys individually. It's just a shame that we didn't get to see them in that kind of environment that we would hope to see them in, but it is what it is. Again, maybe it was some last second thing that they just wanted to do when they got together, but who knows? I don't know these guys personally. I wasn't there, so I can only speculate. So anyway, moving on to the next wildcard.
My name is Taras Stalin, and this is a Helium, and we are Hip Hop Cat. And this is our tag team wildcard for Grand Beatbox Battle 2023 World League.
Okay, so that was Hip Cop Cat. Yeah. Again, like I didn't really know what to expect coming into this one, obviously because there was a wild card factor in Terrace there. That was only the second time I ever heard him. Never really heard him in like a solo or tag team dynamic, so didn't really know what to expect there, and honestly quite surprising. And I liked it overall. I thought it was pretty unique in itself. Most of the vibe was more like drum and bass, I think, honestly. But, you know, Helium is one of the most cleanest beatboxers, and he handled most of the drums in that routine that they chose to do there. So it came out very, very clean. Terrace, on the other hand, handled a lot of the lyrics and lows. And putting that tag team together there, you know, it's great. Honestly, nothing else really more to say about it. I got exactly what I expected at Helium. Again, Terrace is the wild card there, and he handled the other aspect of a tag team dynamic that I should have expected, honestly. So, at the end of the day, I thought it was quite unique, interesting, although the genre itself wasn't unique. Just the kind of style they layered over top of the drum and bass was pretty unique in itself, I think. Especially the vocals. You don't really hear pitches and melodies like that from vocals in Terrace. So, yeah, it was quite unique. So, not really sure how this one will fall at the end of the day. I guess we'll have to see when the results come out. So anyway, moving on to the next wildcard.
Yo, this is Hippy.
This is Max.
And we are
Hippy.
and Max
And this is a wildcard
for the GBB
2023
World League.
tag team category.
Goodbye.
Go!
Hey, nothing to sit down. This is much more than a special sound.
How about some good flow?
I'm not dropping the window. So when we go and we have a top score, cause we are not the underdogs, no poor. Yeah. No more. This is not a
Wow. Okay. So that was Hippy X Max or Max X Hippy. Obviously, Max and Hippy. Their tag team. Yeah. Wild. Absolutely crazy. These guys are kind of they're not new to the scene, but they are relatively new in the last. They came into the scene rather, made a name for themselves in the last few years. They both have this crazy, really complex technicality kind of style, new school kind of technical style, and hearing that mesh together, we kind of get stuff like this. These combinations of sounds that they do together that we've never really heard before ever. So that's pretty much the entire Wildcard itself. We played it more as like a new school tech battle round, if that makes sense. Something that they'd use definitely like on the big stage, I think, to battle someone. So that's the kind of vibe that I got from that Wildcard. Some crazy tech. Max always really impresses me every time I hear him. And Hippy, haven't heard as much of Hippy as I did Max, but really enjoyed the stuff that he's done in the past, like for the BBU and his Wildcard for this competition. Or was that for the Florida? I can't remember. One or the other. But yeah, hearing these guys together is an absolute treat, and next level, I think, for the new school tech. So hopefully they get through. I think they can make a really good impression on the big stage with that kind of style, and I think it play out very well for them if they do get through to the next round. I think they have to do another wildcard for the next round for tag team, if I remember correctly, or it could be just going through. I can't remember how that one works. Maybe they just get through, but there's definitely another round for Loop Station and Solo. I know that for sure. But anyway, really enjoyed that one. Might have been my favorite out of the three, I think, honestly. Yeah, definitely my favorite out of the three that we watched so far in this video. But yeah, let's see where they end up at the end. In the end, there was a lot of a tag team wildcard, so really hard to say, but I really enjoyed this one. So moving on to the final wildcard.
Duo from the United States, and this is my producer wildcard for the Grand Beatbox Battle 2023 World League.
What is this?
Enough of you alone. I know that you're gone and you're not home. I split us apart and lost all hope. There's no need to know. Where are you now? There's no need to know. Where are you now? There's no need to know right now. There's no need to know.
Wow. Okay. Honestly, that was not what I expected. I'm not really familiar with what he had going on there. It looked like some sort of like software on a iPad. I don't know if that was like an actual like. Well, it is. I guess it's considered obviously a second device, but I don't know if it was like a physical second device or just like a software on a iPad or something. You can definitely let me know in the comments. It's the first time I ever heard someone use that. It said synthwave, so that's what makes me think it's a software program. I'd have to assume I'd have to look it up myself. But yeah, overall that track, like, again, I didn't expect that. I thought he would come in with like something I don't know, like something I seen from him on the online World Champs elimination, but no, he just he just came in with something out of left field that I did not expect, and that's honestly a good thing. I think you know, shows a lot of diversity in what he's capable of doing, and honestly I haven't seen anything like that in the loop station at all. I've heard like musicality tracks, but this one was just like, I don't know, I don't even know how to explain it. It's so like different from anything I've heard before, but I liked it a lot. It felt like the vibe I got from it, like especially from the beginning, I don't know if you guys seen the show like Stranger Things, but kind of like similar vein of genre music that they use in there sometimes. That's the kind of vibe I got from that. Kind of like an old school vibe of like a synth guitar almost. But yeah, I enjoyed that a lot. I thought that was really cool. Yeah, it was really different, and you know, it's like, that's a good thing. It's like something you kind of like need to do, especially for a wildcard competition like that. You need something to kind of make yourself stand out, and for me personally, this one made him stand out. Yeah, really good sound design as well. Had a lot going on in there. No like drops either, like no crazy drops in that one. It was just like a pure musical piece there, and a really cool sound, with really cool sounds rather. So yeah, don't really know what else to say because I didn't really know. Honestly, don't really know what was going on in that wildcard at all, so I can't really speculate with the details about it because I don't really know enough about it. So I'm not going to try to figure it out here. But yeah, really cool wildcard again, and that is it for the video. So some crazy wildcards here. I think we're at the end of my reactions for the GBB in terms of the first round stuff. Obviously we have another full round of solo and loop station to get through next month. It's a little while, it's like 3 or 4 weeks away, I think, before the deadline ends. I think I guess you can start making them now obviously, but I think the deadline's like March, the middle of March sometime. But yeah, until then, I guess I'll just go back to all the other stuff. Obviously there's a lot of things that has come out during these wildcards that I've missed and haven't listened to yet, so I'll probably go back and do some of those. Also, I think I'm going to do some community posts for my favorite wildcards of each respective division and ranking them in that way. I don't think I want to go through them and grade them with their criteria. That just takes way too much work. Honestly, especially for the Grand B-Box Battle, there's even more wildcards for this competition than there was for the BBU, because that was the only one one kind of thing, obviously, like solo beatboxing. So, but this has so many other layers, and it honestly just feels like a second job if I made another video doing the rankings. So I'm gonna make some community posts based on my favorites. I'll probably rank them based on my favorites, but obviously you need to understand at the end of the day it's not graded, so it's just completely biased in nature. And I'll probably vocalize that when I do it anyway, but yeah, it should be fun nonetheless. So anyway, if you want to support these guys, link is in the description to their videos, to their channels. Go leave them some love. You know, obviously they put a lot of work into these things, so they definitely deserve all the recognition in the world. If you want to support me, you can leave a like on this video, subscribe to my channel. Other than that, I will see you guys in the next beatbox reaction video.